was introducing a friend of mine, an attorney friend of mine. I had introduced him to Brian, he's the number one income earner. But what happened was that as I was introducing him to my friend who was the attorney, he says, "Oh, and blah blah blah, we pay daily." I was like, "What? You what?" All my businesses pay me either 5 days in the rear or 30 days in the rear. For me to hear that I was going to be able to get paid daily got my attention. I was literally there just to introduce them and for this attorney to be able to monetize his email list. And the more that I thought about, okay, what if this is God knocking at my door and he says, "Look, I'm trying to help you," but you're looking the other way. So I'm so excited for you guys being here, because I think you're gonna be in for a treat. He's been with this particular company over almost 3 decades. He's made millions with this company. He's wildly successful. With that, rather than me telling them everything about you, Brian, why don't you take it away, please?
Jana Maria, and it's great to see everybody on here. My quick story, I'm here in my home office in Leesburg, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. I'm from Villanova with an accounting degree and never used it. Put it on my wall, looks nice, but I went right into real estate as a real estate agent, which doesn't require any degree. And all through my 20s, I was out there hustling hard, working basically 7 days a week. I mean, nights and weekends is when people want to see homes. And so I was telling my friends and family, no, I don't have time for you. At age 28, I was in my Rockville, Maryland real estate office. I had just opened up for our family company that year, interviewing an agent to come work for us. And during the interview, he tells me about how he's marketing this legal plan to his clients and friends. I said, I don't even know what that is. So he explained what this actual service does. And I said, hold on, you mean to tell me if I get a speeding ticket, I'll have an attorney go to traffic court to fight it, so I don't get points on my record, and my insurance won't go up? He said, yep. I said, if I get an IRS audit, they'll give me a tax attorney to handle the audit? He said, yep. And if somebody sues me, they'll defend me in court? He says, yep. I said, I'm a single guy with no wife, no kids yet, but if I want to get my will done or my power of attorney and all that, he said, yeah, they'll do that for you for free. Normally it's $1,000, but it's free. They'll write letters, make phone calls, review contracts, all that. I'm like, for as little as this costs, month to month, why would anybody not sign up for the service? He says, I'm signing people up all the time. I'm like, well, sign me up right now. I could definitely use this. I could think of a dozen things in the last couple of years I could use this for. So he signs me up and he says, Brian, you realize I just got paid a couple $100 for signing you up. I'm going to get paid it tomorrow. But more importantly, I'm going to get paid every month for the rest of your life, even if we never talk again. I said, how's that work? He said, it's residual income. You know what that is, right? I said, oh, yeah, sure. He said, oh, you do? So you have some? I said, oh, what do you mean? He laughs. He goes, you don't understand a thing, because if you did, you'd have some by now. Explain. He says, well, you know how an insurance agent sells an insurance policy, they get a nice big commission right away. But every year the policy automatically renews, they get automatic renewal income. I said, sure, I get that. He said, that's how this works. And he said, Brian, you realize in our real estate career, if we don't sell another house, we don't get paid again. We're unemployed between deals. I said, I never thought about being unemployed, but I get what you're saying. We're not going to get paid again until then. And I said, well, this is incredible. But I don't know how much time I can devote to something else because I'm so busy with real estate. He said, Brian, split second marketing. It doesn't take much time. How long does it take you to tell somebody about a great movie, a great restaurant, a great Netflix show, a great vacation spot? I'm like, it doesn't. Well, he goes, exactly. It didn't take me much, a couple minutes just to tell you about it. And you just signed up. I just made a couple $100. So I said, all right, I'm in. So guys, I made $248,000 my first year with this side project on the side for my real estate career. And at that point, I decided I don't need real estate anymore. I walked away and I've been focused on nothing but this now for 27 consecutive years, full time with this project. And I can tell you, I put a team together teaching them how to go out there and market this service as well, just like I learned how. And that team has been paid almost $900 million so far. So I say all that to say, it's an incredible opportunity for people that are looking for something. And I'm going to share with you guys a few visuals. They say the world's changed, especially after the pandemic. A lot of people, were stuck at home and they're like, do I even want to go back to what I was doing? Was I even fulfilled? Did I like it? What were my hours I was working? Oh my gosh, I was doing nothing but work. So nowadays people want more income, more time, more flexibility. They want independence. And right now, here we are in 2025, uncertain times, you can call it. It would make sense to have a backup plan, a plan B, just in case. Like I've got friends here in DC that are furloughed. They're not getting paid right now by the federal government. You would think they would get involved in the business with me, right? So anyway, but I had a billionaire mentor, Paul J. Meyer, who always taught that there were three forms of income: linear income getting paid on what you do, leveraged income getting paid on what others do, and then residual income getting paid over and over again for what you did one time. And tonight, I'm going to share with you guys how this project will pay you all three forms of income. We have two real problems that everybody on this Zoom actually lives with. And this company actually has the solution to both of those problems. So here's what I want everybody to think about. Have you ever got a speeding ticket? We talked about that earlier. And it's not just having to pay a big fine, but it's the points, and it definitely has an impact on you, right? You ever want to get your will done? You ever lost your job and didn't know what your rights were to a proper severance package? You ever been treated unfairly? You ever been a victim of identity theft? Or maybe you signed a contract or a document and the bold print gave it to you up front, but the fine print took it away later on. So maybe you signed an insurance, you had an insurance claim that was denied. Or maybe you had a landlord withhold a security deposit. They said that you did damage your property, but you know it was just normal wear and tear. So anyway, these are just a few of the thousands of things that our service with Legal Shield helps with. Now you might say, oh, the Legal Shield, I know what this is. But if you don't have this service, you don't have this app on your phone, and you're not using it, I promise you in the next 5 minutes, you're going to say, I had no idea. How do I get this service? There's already over 4 million people utilizing this service. And the gentleman on the screen there, Harlan Stonecipher, is the founder of the company. Let me explain to you why he started it in the first place. He wasn't trying to make a buck, which is how most companies are started. People just want to make money to try to come up with a business idea. He was in that car on the screen there. He was in a head-on car accident, flipped over beyond repair. He had auto insurance that got him a new car. He was in the hospital for several days. He had health insurance for his hospital bills. He had life insurance. Thankfully, he didn't need to use it. And then he also found himself, while he's in the hospital, served with a lawsuit. They gave him papers in the hospital. The other driver sued him. He had to hire an attorney, and he battled it out. He was, at the end, found not guilty. It was not his fault. He was found that it was not his fault. But he spent $6,500 in attorney's fees in 1969. In today's dollars, that's over $30,000. He was a school teacher. It wiped him out financially. After he got through that, he said there's got to be something that he could have had in place that would have taken care of unexpected legal expenses. Didn't exist. So 3 years later, he launched this company, now known as Legal Shield. And again, over 4.5 million people that are using this service. 40,000 calls that our law firms are taking in per week, 2 million times a year. Our members are actually utilizing this service. Now, I'm going to share with you a short overview of what the service does and how you'll use it on a regular basis in your life, okay? So unlimited legal advice. You ever have a question about real estate, divorce, bankruptcy, child custody, landlord-tenant issues, employment-related problems, a manufacturer not honoring a warranty? You pick up your phone and don't call a friend. Call your law firm and have your attorneys give you the best advice based on law, based on fact. On top of that, they'll review contracts and documents. There's an old saying, the bold print giveth, but the fine print taketh away. A lot of times we sign things we don't know we're signing our name to it. You know, January 1, I'm going to lose weight. Join a gym. January 15, back on the couch, not going to the gym. But you're paying for the membership for the next 2 years because you didn't realize you signed your name to a 2-year contract that you can't get out of unless you prove that you moved out of state. Well, by the way, a lot of our members have found loopholes in those gym contracts where they didn't have to move and they still were able to get out of that gym membership. But anyway, letters and phone calls on your behalf. I'm sure you would agree that a letter on your law firm's letterhead would be a lot more powerful than you or me trying to deal with a situation with another party that's not acting right on their own. And I'll give you a few examples. I had a dry cleaner ruin a $48 shirt. They ruined the sleeve on a dress shirt. They admitted they did it. They said they tried to get it out. They couldn't fix it. And I said, no problem. Just get me a new shirt. And they say, sorry, it's not our policy. And she points to a sign behind the counter that says, we're not responsible for damaged items. I said, I get that you probably have people coming in trying to get you all to replace something that they did on their own at home. But you just admitted that you guys ruined my sleeve and you're not going to make it right? She said, sorry, it's just our policy. Well, I went home a little bit upset. I called Legal Shield. They wrote a letter to the dry cleaner on the law firm's letterhead. A week later, I had an apology letter from the owner of the chain and a check out of his account for $48 to get me a new shirt. Now, would you have called an attorney for $300 an hour for a $48 issue? I would hope not, right? It wouldn't make financial sense. But if it's free to use the attorneys for that, you probably would. I'll give you another example. I had an iPhone with Sprint, and after a hurricane came through our state, my signal got bad. It was dropping calls all day for 3 straight weeks. They promised they'd get somebody out to fix a tower, never got it fixed. I asked my next door neighbor, "Do you have good signal?" He says, "Yes." I said, "Who do you got?" "Verizon." The next day, I got a new phone from Verizon. I canceled Sprint. Sprint charged me a $283 early termination fee for my 14 months left on my 2-year contract. I told Sprint, "You can't hold me to a contract for services that don't work." They said, "Yes, we can." Too bad. Well, I called Legal Shield. They wrote a letter to Sprint's legal department. I got a phone call the next week from someone in their executive office. "Mr. Carruthers?" "Yes." "This is so-and-so from Sprint's executive office. We want to let you know we're in receipt of your attorney's letter. And we want to start off by saying we are so sorry. You should have been treated way better than that. We want to thank you for being a customer for the last 16 years. Now, we want to, we know you already moved on. But we can't change that now, but at least we want to make it right. So if you'll hold, we're going to put that $283 that we owe you back on your credit card." I hung up the phone not even 5 minutes later with that money in my possession again. You can't make this stuff up. I'll give you another quick example. I've written 6 books that have all become bestsellers, and I got a fulfillment house out in Minnesota that sends out orders and to Amazon or to individual buyers. Well, I had 10 cases of the book sent to my house in Virginia. And one day I sent out 10 cases of books to friends of mine across the country that were ordering big boxes of them. 8 of them made it to their destination. 2 of them vanished into the Bermuda Triangle. Like, they couldn't be found. Luckily, I put insurance on them for $400 a case. And when they got lost, I filed 2 insurance claims for the $400 cases each. 3 months later, it got denied. They said I could appeal. So I put in an appeal, put all the paperwork in, sent it back in. 3 months later, denied again. They said you can appeal one more time. So I sent it all back in again. 2.5 months later, denied. I'm 8.5 months down the road on this thing. I'm up to here with frustration. I finally called Legal Shield. I don't know why it took me this long to do this. I called Legal Shield. My attorney said, "I got it." He wrote a letter to the postmaster. Literally 6 days later, I got 2 checks from the postmaster for $422 apiece. I would have never seen that $840 if not for my attorney just stepping in, because I already had 3 denials. It was never going to happen. So when somebody is doing you wrong, it's amazing how an attorney writing a letter is going to resolve those problems for you. They'll even, your will. This is a big one. 7 out of 10 people in this country don't have a will. And if you die without one, the state will determine who raises your kids, who gets your assets. I've had people say, "Brian, I don't really have much, so it doesn't matter." You guys, I've heard about families, breaking up over a wristwatch passed down by a grandparent. You hear about silverware wars, brothers and sisters fighting over forks and knives, not talking for 20 years. Tell me a will's not important. Tell that to the 12-year-old boy whose parents passed away, and he's been through 3 foster homes ever since. When there were other family members that could have taken the kid, but the will was not in place, and the state made that decision. Well, getting a will is important, and it's expensive to get it done properly by an attorney, one that would stand up through probate court and all that. Well, guess what? You're going to have a top attorney with Legal Shield draw up your will, living will, health care, and financial power of attorney for free. And they'll even update it each year if you need it for free. On top of that, speeding tickets. Now, don't judge me lest thee be judged, okay? But I've had a few speeding tickets over my 27 years since I've had this membership. Matter of fact, I've had 5 in Maryland to and from our beach house. Now, I don't drink and drive. I don't endanger anybody. No passing on the side. Just flow of traffic stuff on that same Route 50 corridor. All 5 times, Legal Shield had an attorney go to traffic court. Won each one. No points on my record. My insurance company thinks I'm a perfect driver. So if you have a spouse with a lead foot, or if you have teenage drivers, Legal Shield's going to save you guys a lot of money. On top of that, civil lawsuit defense. They'll defend you in court if somebody sues you. They'll give you a tax attorney if you get audited. They'll give you 24/7 access for an emergency. People get profiled all the time. Driving a nice car in a beat-up neighborhood, or a beat-up car in a nice neighborhood, or whatever the case might be, you might have an emergency. Especially in the climate that we're living in right now. Law enforcement is doing really weird things all the time. And you need to stand up for your rights. But what are your rights? You have the right to remain silent, the right to call your attorney. But what if it's a 10 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Who are you going to call? There's no law firm you're going to just going to take your call, except for if you have Legal Shield, you're going to have a red button on your app. You can push a button, the emergency button. Within 90 seconds, your attorney will be on speakerphone to talk to the officer or whoever you're dealing with and let them handle the situation properly for you. I got a wife and 3 boys. They will never leave home without that app on their phone. On top of that, this is some other stuff here as well. Loan doc and tenant lease reviews, e-signatures, notarizations. If you have the membership for at least 180 days, they'll even do uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, or name change at no cost. They'll do a prenup or a postnup agreement for you. Again, free. It's all covered. Anything I've talked about is 100% paid for. Anything else, 25% off. You robbed a bank, 25% off. Not that you need a discount. You got the bank's money, but you know what I'm saying? So it's a catch-all. Anything else, 25% off. So here's my favorite part. Let's pretend you're the attorney. I'm the client walking to your law firm. I say, look, I want you to provide all these services I just described. I want you to handle all that for my family. But I don't want to pay you by the hour. I want to give you 1 check a month to pay for all of it. How much would that check have to be if you're my law firm, if you're my attorney? I know you're all muted out, you can't answer, but I usually hear anywhere from $500 to $5,000 a month. At a couple $100 an hour, you expect it to be thousands a month. Legal Shield, they don't charge thousands. They don't even charge hundreds. Look at the bottom right. $37.95 a month. You guys, when I saw that, I said that is the best dollar value I've ever seen in my entire life. I signed up on the spot. It was a no-brainer, and it's month to month. Why would anybody not? You get to service, you go get your will done, save $1,000. That pays for the membership and the savings right there for almost 3 years. It covers your whole family. You, your spouse, and all your dependents up to age 26 can all use 1 membership. It's absolutely incredible. On top of that, who do you know who's got a business? Business owners love this business membership, either $49.99 or $169 a month. You can choose between the 3 different packages. Debt collection letters, trademark stuff, or employee handbook stuff, IRS audit assistance, letters and contact, advice and consultations, anything that they need as part of these menus for a fraction of what they would pay for an hour for the entire month. All right. So we also have a hybrid. So I don't have a business with employees and brick and mortar and all that stuff. I'm just little old me, home-based entrepreneur. Yes, I make a lot of money, but it's just me, a solo entrepreneur. So if you're like that, if you've got something that you do for money outside of a W-2 employment scenario, maybe you got some, a landlord, you got a few rental properties, or, you sell stuff on Etsy or eBay, or, you're a marketer like me, $29.95, you can add on the home business add-on so you can use the law firms for business legal needs. I'll give you a simple example of this. Powerful, though. I've one of my properties in Annapolis, Maryland, I had a tenant that moved out after 2 years and left me with an $800 water bill. I pulled it from a security deposit. 9 months later, he sues me. I get a letter from a law firm. I open it up. He's suing me for the $800. Mac, you got to be kidding. That's ridiculous. So I called up Legal Shield, told my attorney. He said, give me a copy of the lease and a letter. Let me work on this. 2 days later, he calls me up. He said, Brian, we're all done. I'm like, what do you mean we're all done? We're not going to court? He said, nope. Here's what happened. My tenant was thinking I'm a business guy. He's thinking, all right, is Brian going to spend a couple $100 an hour to fight this in court for a couple $1,000? Or am I going to stroke him a check for $800, take the lesser of the 2 evils, and get him out of my hair? That's what he was thinking. But my attorney told his attorney to tell him that my attorney's fees are going to be 0. And he's going to have to pay his attorney by the hour. You know what he did? He tucked his tail and ran. This is called building a legal fortress around your family that you didn't have before. So on top of that, you guys, we also have a second service to solve a second problem. This only takes me 3 minutes to cover this. Then I'm going to jump into what you're here for, which is I'm going to show you guys how to make money from this. So identity theft, the fastest growing crime in the world. In the legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty. But with identity theft, you're guilty until you prove your innocence. That's daunting, and that's not right, but that's how it works. So, and I have people say, Brian, I'm good. I've got LifeLock, or I got credit monitoring for my bank, so I'm good. No, you're not, because less than 20% of identity theft even shows up on a credit report. It's like having a house with 5 doors and putting a lock on one. So there's so many different forms of identity theft. So somebody can file a tax return with your information, and they get the refund check. And then you go file your return, like, what are you talking about? We already paid somebody. We already paid you. Like, no, that wasn't me. or medical claims, social security claims, driver's license fraud, character fraud. There's so many different ways. And it takes the thief minutes to steal your identity. It takes the victim months or years to clean up the mess and get their identity back to normal. Well, we've got the most robust service that handles everything. Here's a bunch of the things that ID Shield's going to do for you. Dark web monitoring. They're going to monitor the dark web 24/7. So any of your non-public data is being circulated out there. If they catch it, they'll be able to actually help you get things, straightened out. On top of that, VPN. You ever been out in a public place and you got on public Wi-Fi? Without VPN, people around you can be snooping on what's on your device, what you're doing. But when you got VPN, it's encrypted. So you're going to have that for free. Licensed investigators, we'll talk about that in a second. Privacy management. They also have social media reputation management. Some people, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you were applying for a job, the employer is going to look at your resume for about a minute. Anybody can have somebody write up help them design a good resume. You know what they're instantly going to do? They're going to go look you up on social media. They're going to go look at your Facebook, and they're going to see what you're really about to see if you would be a good fit for their culture. So there's a lot of people out there that are putting stuff on social media all the time that they probably should be thinking twice about. Well, this app has a feature in it where it would actually put your social media handles in there and it'll scan. And anytime you're putting something in there that might not be good for your reputation, it'll give you a little warning flag. You remember back in the day when you were young, you did some drunk dialing, right? You probably shouldn't be calling anybody when you had 8 beers or whatever. Guess what? You might not want to be posting when you're not thinking right as well. Okay. All kidding aside, sex offenders. I've got a wife and 3 boys. I would want to know if there's a predator that moves into my neighborhood. So you're going to get alerts for that. But the 2 biggest things that our service does is gives you a $3 million protection policy to cover losses incurred when your identity is stolen. But the biggest one, again, hundreds of hours it takes to restore your identity. ID Shield gives you licensed investigators. They're going to jump in and they're going to do all that legwork for you. So you can stay functioning in your life, doing your job, living your life, and they can handle it for you. Now, hundreds of hours at probably what, $200-$300 an hour for an investigator? That'd be expensive. All that's covered for $19.95. Month to month, no contract. And if you have a spouse and up to 10 kids, the whole household for $34.95. Now that you know what these 2 services do, you probably understand why we're signing up between 20 and 22,000 new customers a month that are signing up for these services right now, adding on to that 4.5 million. Maria, she saw the service when she has an attorney who has been in practice for, I just found out, almost as long as I've been alive, for about 5 decades. He's got thousands and thousands of clients looking to do, what is he going to do when he retires? Well, Maria's going to help him monetize that by encouraging all of them to go sign up for Legal Shield. And the good news is that he only practices a certain area of law in a certain state or 2. This is every area of law anywhere across the country. So here's what I want you guys to think about. Oh, by the way, before I share with you the money, saving money is also fun. Legal Shield has something called Member Perks. We've got over 400 companies that have come to us and said, we want to offer your members discounts with us. Apple, Samsung, Sprint, Verizon, Dell, hotel stays, car rentals, 25% off of movie tickets. I mean, think about this. I've got my Verizon cell phone. I've had the account for a long time, ever since that fateful story I already told you earlier, many, many years ago when I got a Verizon account. When I used my Perks code, I contacted Verizon. They applied it. I'm getting a 10% discount off my cell phone bill, and I didn't have to change my account number, my phone number, nothing. They just apply the code. I'm saving money every single month. I'll give you another example. I went to Office Depot. I got $168 worth of printing done. When I went to check out, they used my Perks code. It went from 168 down to 38. I saved $130 just using my Member Perks at that Office Depot. We have people that are saving more money every month off of Perks than they're even paying for the Legal Shield and ID Shield. So this is my fun part. I love to talk about money. I love making money. I love helping teach others how to make money and how to build wealth. That's why when I speak on stage with Grant Cardone or Tony Robbins or Robert Kiyosaki or Richard Branson, all the different places that I speak about this is my number 1 topic. I want to help people to get ahead financially. And I also like to talk about what I learned from my billionaire mentor about the three forms of income. So Legal Shield is going to pay you all three forms of income for spreading the word about these two services. Okay. So let's say somebody gets the $38 legal plan and they get the Family ID Shield. Okay. That's $72.90. Now, if they get paid, maybe they're an individual, they pay less, you get paid proportionally. But you're earning anywhere from $80 up to $416 wired into your account the following day. And I know that was important to Maria. She's like, pay daily? I'm in, show me what's going on. But seriously, 7 days a week we get paid. Like if you sign up somebody for this service today, you're paid tomorrow, direct deposit. And so when I saw that, I said, how many am I allowed to sign up? I was excited about that. And they said, Brian, as many as you want. Now, the second form of income is the leveraged income. Now, I was already familiar with this because in real estate, our family had a big real estate company. We had a bunch of agents that worked for my parents' real estate company. Every time the agent sold a house, the broker gets a little piece. So the broker is able to have leverage. Now, most people are being leveraged at their jobs. You get to have leverage. And you're going to get an override if you know anybody else that likes these services and they would like to also market it and get paid for marketing it to people. You can introduce them on board, and every time they sign up people, they're getting paid their full commission, and the company's going to pay you anywhere from $20 up to over $300 in an override on a sale somebody else made. And then the third way we get paid, that residual income. So you get a big check right away, the deposit the next day, but then a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you're going to get paid month after month, year after year for the life of every one of these customers. I would not do anything else the rest of my life if it didn't have, number one, leverage, number two, residual income attached. If 100% of your income comes from 100% of what you do, in my book, that's called scary. What happens if you get sick? Can't work? You want to retire? God forbid you lose your job. What would you do? Well, with Legal Shield, whatever customer base that you build up, you're getting paid residual income on for the rest of your life. I'm going to give you guys an example. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is, I'm going to unblur my screen, my video real quick so you can see it. I think this is important for you guys. Whoops, let me go back. Sorry. There we go. So this is a picture of David Stecky. He was living out in Orange County, California. He was a mortgage broker. 4.5 years in Legal Shield. He was making $250,000 a year. He passed away, as you can see here, the date, September of 2004. He had cancer and passed away. And his wife has been receiving a 6-figure residual income for 20, what is it now? That's 21 straight years. His wife has been receiving 6 figures a year from what he did 21 years ago. If something happened to you or me, if we were at a job, they would stop paying. They wouldn't pay our family just because they liked us. I mean, they got to hire somebody new now to do our job. That's the power of Legal Shield and residual income. Let me show you guys a quick couple examples of this so it really, makes sense with the dollars and cents for you. So you start off as an associate. Again, you go out and sign up somebody for the legal plan and the ID Shield. You're making $80. Go out and sign up, 5 customers, or you sign up 3 associates and one. 3 members, and one says, "I want to be an associate too." Either way, they're going to bump you up to a higher commission level. Now they're going to pay you as a senior associate $100 per sale. Bring 3 people on board, and you got $300 in total memberships sold, which is almost nothing. Now you're a manager making $132. So as you sign more people up, they're going to keep on bumping up your pay level, anywhere from $80 up to $416. So that's lucrative right there. Just think about everybody deserves access to the legal system. Everybody should be protecting their very identity. It's like everybody we know should have this. And then secondly, the overrides are cumulative. Let me give you an example. Is it Posh or Pash? I see.
Pash, like passion.
Pash. Okay. So I'm looking at Pash. So let's say Pash, you're a senior manager and you come and show me this information. Let's say I'm not on board yet. I'm like, look, the real estate market's slow. I can definitely use the extra cash flow. I don't have a will done. I tend to get some speeding tickets. I want to sign up. Okay. As a senior manager, when you sign me up, you made $178. And I also become an associate because I want to go out and market this to my clients and my friends and everything and generate some extra income for myself as well. So when I became a customer, you made $178. But now I'm also an associate on the team with you. Now, every time I sign somebody up, Pash, I make $80. You, the senior manager who brought me aboard, you're making this 20 plus this 32 plus this 46. You're making $98 every time I sign somebody up that I know. Next week, I go out and sign up 5 of my friends. 5 times 98, you made almost $500 when I signed up those 5 people I knew. That's with one of me. What if you had 10 of me that did that week? Instead of 500, you made 5,000 that week in overrides. The money can add up very, very quickly. And that can go anywhere from $20 to 98, like I just said, all the way up to over $330. So you're getting paid when you're signing up your people, you're getting paid when others are. Remember I told you about the small business owner plans? Everybody knows people that have businesses. Follow your own dollars. Who do you spend your money with? Next time you go into the nail salon, the barber shop, you have somebody cut your lawn, the restaurants that you like to dine at. I mean, everybody that you give your business to, there's our business owners. They all have legal needs. They're spending hundreds of dollars an hour. When they can find out that they can get the best law firms out there for pennies on the dollar, they're going to be excited to sign up with you. Look at the blue dollars here, anywhere from $198 to over $1,000 per referral to a business owner. And guess what? You don't even have to explain it. We're going to give you a video that explains it in 10 minutes to the business owner or to the individual. And when they watch the video, they sign up on your link, you're getting paid the next day. Now, give you a couple examples here, and then we're going to wrap everything together. This is an example. If you sign up one family a week, that's 4 a month. Doesn't take much. 5 minutes. Once a week, you're making anywhere from $300 to over $2,000 a month in extra income. Now, some of you guys might be already wealthy, but I don't care how much money you got. I'd tell people about these services for free. So if I can get paid for it, I'll take the money. I could use that for something. Well, guess what? If you build a team of 25 of you that are just out there signing up one customer a week, that's 120 grand a year in your pocket. Most people out there in North America don't make that per year at their full-time jobs, working crazy hours. We're talking about you signing up one a week, 24 others signing up one a week, and you're making 120 grand a year in that scenario. That's why we have so many 6-figure earners in the business with us. Now, we also have a lot of fun. These are pictures of us on some of our getaway trips, all expense paid. We have $200 to $500 a month cash bonuses as well that you can earn after you sign up a few people each month. But how you get started when you're signing up for the services, you can check a box that says, I want to become an associate as well. And then it's a one-time fee, $99 to get everything set up. That doesn't go to Maria, it doesn't go to me, it goes right to the company for all the getting everything set up for you. And you own the business. You start part-time. If you can devote like 2 hours a week to this at the beginning, like I had little bits of time I can squeeze in. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there is a few hours a week, but as a compound started kicking in, the compound effect, it blossomed, and that's what can happen for you. And you own it. You can sell it. You can will it to your kids. We will teach you exactly what to do, and I will also be here, like I'm here mentoring and helping Maria, doing this presentation to you guys for her. I'll do the same thing for you guys. This is what I do. I love what I do. I have not worked for money in many, 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 many years. I've made millions of dollars, and I've invested it well. I do this. Here it is, 9:40 at night, out here in Virginia, and I'm on this Zoom. And by the way, I've been doing this for 27 years. Who do you know has been doing something this long and is still this passionate about it? Still believes so much in what they do. All right. So and the only expense that there is in the business is $25 a month for the Advantage package, which basically is free for the first month, and then it's $25, and that gives you everything that you need for the marketing. The websites, the CRM mobile app. You can put somebody's information into the app, push a button, it sends them a video for you. When they open the video to watch it, you'll get a push notification letting you know that they're watching the video. You can actually push a button and see how much of the video they watched, so you can see if they actually saw it all. So that way, when you talk to them afterward, if they have any questions or they're like, I'm not really sure. Well, you didn't watch the whole video. Once you go watch the second part, you missed the part about the income part or whatever. You can put people into an email campaign, and it will send out automatic emails over the next 12 months. Every other week for you. So with marketing information and other stories that can help them understand the value of what we have here. So everything is all provided. Timing is everything. As you can see, other industries that are much more mature and full blown, we have less than 3% market penetration. That means 97 out of 100 people out there have no idea about Legal Shield and ID Shield. When I do these presentations, everybody pretty much says, services sound great. I like it. I want it. I see there's a lot of money on the table. That's apparent too. The typical only remaining question I've ever gotten all these years is people say, well, tell me a little bit more exactly what I'd be doing. And you're going to be doing what Maria did. Like you're on the Zoom watching this right now because she just said, hey, I want you to get on the Zoom. I bet you she did not do some sort of a presentation. She didn't explain the services. She didn't go over how you get paid. She said, hey, I hope you're smiling because I'm right and you didn't do it wrong. But seriously, all you do is just invite somebody to a Zoom and one of us does a presentation. Like we're doing another one of these tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. So all you have to do is just invite somebody on it. They like what they see. They ask for your link to sign up afterward. You give it to them. They sign up. You get paid the next day. Is that something that you can do? It's pretty easy to do, right? That's how powerful the business is. And so Maria and I, over the last couple of days, we've been putting this together. We're putting a brand new team together. Like I said, I've been doing this for 27 years. I've built teams all across the country, thousands and thousands of associates. And we're putting a brand new team together, and the timing of that is super important. You guys know that Maria is a marketer. I'm good at what I do. I've been doing this for a long time. We're going to build this team in a big, big way. And so it's a first mover's advantage right now. This is the launch Zoom that we're doing that you're on. Okay. We're going to have people that are going to be seeing this after tonight. And of course, as you guys are coming on board, I would encourage you to reach back out to Maria today, not tomorrow, because as we're bringing more people aboard, we'll be able to put the people that are coming on board in the future onto your marketing team, which allows you to earn overrides and residuals on the customers they're going to be bringing to the company going forward forever. So that's why it's super important to be able to really kind of take quick action on that. So Maria, let me just go ahead and throw it over to you. And these are all your friends and colleagues, and share some words with them. But again, I'm excited to be working with you, Maria. Anybody else that decides to come on board as well, I'm looking forward to helping you guys in this journey as well.
Thank you, Brian.
Guys, it takes 3 minutes to get set up on the website. So just text Maria and get the link, get you set up in the system. And once you do that, we'll get you some information to review. We'll have a short little video to get you kind of onboarded. Make total sense when you watch a video, like, oh my gosh, this is very simple. And then we'll also do a game plan with you. So we'll map it out for you. You say, hey, look, I can only devote like this amount of time throughout the week. It might be an hour here or 20 minutes here or whatever. But I want to, in order for this to be worthwhile, if I'm going to devote 3 hours a week to it, I want to be able to get it up to a couple thousand a month in the next, let's say 90 days or 120 days. What does that game plan have to look like? What do I need to do to get that to happen? And I will map that out because I've mapped out pretty much every conceivable situation for so many people over the years. I know exactly what it's going to take, and we'll help you map it out. So look forward to working with you. Have a good night.
For those of you who want to go ahead and sign up, just go to Maria, just like you see my name right here, marialupita.org, marialupita.org, and that will take you straight to my sign up page. If somebody else shared it with you, you were not invited directly with me, get back with the person who invited you, because I'm assuming that this Zoom is going to be shared many times by people, not just directly from me, but with many others. So with that, have a good night, everybody.